Welcome to the Rick and Morgan podcast, presented by Lemon Sports Network. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Ricky Lemon.
Welcome to the show. How you doing, Rick?
I'm still fat from Thursday.
I had 3 freaking servings of turkey.
Are you the guy that...
I went back 3 times. I drank water the whole time so I could make sure I wash it down properly. People drink soda, and then you're sitting there and you had 1 plate of food, and you're like, I usually am able to eat way more than this. Well, no, you gotta pace yourself.
Yeah.
3 plates of food in 2 hours is pretty good.
That's... Wow.
I could have eaten half a turkey. I was so hungry.
You let it go for 2 hours.
Yeah, dude.
So you tackled that in 2 hours? That's impressive.
You
just kept eating over a 2 hour span without stopping.
Without
slow enough.
It didn't help that I got to watch the atrocity of football game that was the Redskins. It wasn't the Redskins. The first one. I don't even remember what it was. Bears and Lions. That was horrible.
Lions, Bears. Oh my, no offense.
I don't even know. Why did they keep putting the freaking Lions on Thanksgiving? It's
a tradition, dude. So we get to see them lose every Thanksgiving.
It's true. So Thanksgiving was this past Thursday. We are recording this on Saturday, November 24th. And Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, if not probably my favorite. You get to eat food for absolutely no reason and watch football for absolutely no reason, just like every Sunday, except it's in the middle of the week and I get to watch 3 football games. We all know that turkey is the best part of Thanksgiving, or the best food item from Thanksgiving.
I might have to disagree with that take. Is it a hot take to say that turkey is not my favorite?
Some people would say pie, but
no, that doesn't count though.
That doesn't count? That's a dessert?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you. Regardless of what you feel on turkey, what is your most underrated Thanksgiving side? Give me your most underrated Thanksgiving side.
This is the hardest question you've ever had to ask me before, because we're talking underrated. So this is something that not a lot of people like.
Yep.
And you're like...
Actually, it's something that a lot of people like, but they don't talk about.
Right. Exactly. I want to hear yours first.
I'm going to say...
So I can critique it.
I'm going to say the mashed squash with the cinnamon and the...
With the marshmallows?
No, that's. I think that's sweet potatoes. Oh. I'm talking about the... Yeah. Squash, you mix it up.
Yeah. I know.
You put the brown sugar and the cinnamon in it. It's really freaking awesome. I love solid. That. You could give me the squash.
That's not
you could just keep feeding me the squash. I actually would say the friggin' sweet potatoes too. Those are pretty nice.
With the marshmallows.
With the marshmallows.
Yes, that was my answer.
But everyone likes...
Probably. Well, I don't know.
That's true.
Because this is so tough. We need like statistics and polls of what people like
what
on
people
their
actually
sides
like.
And
for
whatever.
The first,
I'm gonna look that up.
For the first time ever on Thanksgiving, I had mac and cheese. So I feel like that's pretty good.
You had mac and cheese on things. So this has been a kind of a hot take on Twitter, that if mac and cheese deserves to be a side.
A side at Thanksgiving.
What is your opinion on that?
Absolutely. Mac and cheese all day.
You know, I never thought of
it. A good
it.
mac and cheese, like bake it in the oven.
Yeah.
Make sure, it's like that. Don't give me... Like people roll up to Thanksgiving with freaking Kraft mac and cheese in a pan. Take a leap, you lazy civilians.
There was some like bacon, like the crappy bacon bites you get at Walmart.
And those are poured on top.
Yeah, you pour it on the.
It's like the cheapest. It's like the cheapest you could get at Walmart. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. No, it has to be homemade mac and cheese. But I'm gonna have to take squash. Squash is like every Thanksgiving. I get it like once a year. You know the funny thing about Thanksgiving is that you have this opportunity the whole year to eat.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So sorry.
He's got some information for us.
From thedailymeal.com.
A poll from thedailymeal.com. No, we are not sponsors of whatever this website is.
I actually don't know if this is a real poll, but I'm going to say it is anyway. So I apologize.
Information.
People's favorite is mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes?
Kind of bland, honestly.
That's bland. That's a bland take. That's a soft take.
Number 15
just
on
like
the
mashed
list
potatoes. Wait, what?
is cranberry sauce. So that's at the bottom of their list.
Okay.
I could reverse those two.
Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce, it wouldn't be at the top. Okay, so maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
4.
But it's top 5.
Cranberry sauce is
cranberry
Pat
sauce
Mahomes
is good.
You.
All right, if you don't have cranberry, I look around and I see who has cranberry sauce on their plate, and I'm like, that person is going somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't have cranberry sauce on your plate?
That person, he's gonna be a millionaire.
Mac and cheese is number 5 on this list. So
Mac and cheese. So
more people, I guess, do have mac and cheese.
wait, so you're really gonna take cranberry sauce?
They
as
have
an
gravy
underrated-
three.
Do you know how many people don't like
They just have
cranberry
straight
sauce?
gravy. Oh, a decent amount.
Straight gravy.
Yeah, they have straight gravy.
These
number
people
two.
who get
Stuffing is
a
number
cup.
2. Again, kind of bland.
A cup of gravy. Just start drinking gravy.
Yeah, who needs water or soda
They got a
wine
little.
or
They got a
like-
little cup filled with gravy, and they're dipping their turkey in it, like just with their hands. They don't even need forks. Just
like
dip
half
it in
my
there.
family would do that.
Like freaking, and then you take your spoon.
We all know like
You
at
take your
least 4
spoon
people.
and you scoop your mashed potatoes, which are number 1 underrated, and then you dip it in there and you start eating that too.
mashed potatoes or stuffing. What would you have? At?
Stuffing, probably. I love mashed potatoes, but that's something you eat all year round. You don't eat stuffing all year round.
Maybe I grew up in a weird family, but we kind of do.
Eat stuffing all the time? Is it box
Not
stuffing?
all the time. It is, I think.
It's the box
Yeah.
stuffing. There you go.
I'd probably say mashed potatoes, but it's close. They're both kind of bland.
Actually,
though,
see,
to
because
me.
I haven't had mashed potatoes in a long time, except for Sunday, because I ate mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes, but I feel like it's just such a generic item. Like you can't say that's underrated. It's just generic.
So this list has croissant rolls number 9 and garlic bread number 13. Again, I think a little low for both
Garlic
those items.
bread?
Do you have garlic bread on
No, I've
Thanksgiving?
never had garlic bread on
I
Thanksgiving.
wouldn't either. Or I've never
This
had
is
garlic
not
bread
Italy.
either.
This is
However,
America. This is the freaking
if garlic
United
bread
States
was
of
an
America.
option-
I have rolls.
At my Thanksgiving,
Deep Southern
yes,
rolls.
we have rolls as well. But if garlic bread was an
or
option
biscuits
on
are
the table,
good too. I like biscuits. But
you're taking that. If garlic bread's
what,
sitting
garlic
there,
bread?
are you
Oh,
putting it on your plate?
I'm not holding myself back.
You're putting it on the plate. It should be
Yeah,
hot.
I might be going to Olive Garden
have
tonight too. So like, I'll eat friggin' breadsticks all day.
By the way,
Oh,
happy
frick.
birthday, Morgan. We're going to sing you a little Red Robin song.
Oh boy, go ahead. Give me the.
Happy birthday, have a happy birthday. Happy birthday, have a happy day. Do we have a birthday here? Yes, we have a birthday here. I can't do that fast. Birthday where? Oh, happy birthday, have a happy birthday. Happy birthday, have a
Who
happy
pays
day.
these people to write this crap?
That's a good question.
That's terrible. Yes, I did turn 25.
Can you go to a restaurant and like Katie like be like, hey, it's his birthday.
Yeah,
and
probably.
then they sing.
But she would never do that, so I'll do it.
Say it's her birthday.
I'll say it's. Yeah, say it's her birthday. And you put the plate in front of her.
Oh my gosh.
She would kill me. She would kill me. Yes, I was born 2 days before Thanksgiving, and I was brought home on Thanksgiving Day. So Dab City.
That's pretty dope.
Every 5 years, my birthday is on Thanksgiving.
Surprised you didn't choke on
We
your
stick
first
a
birthday.
candle in it. I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of apple pie, but
Really?
pecan
All right.
pie is my favorite pie.
Okay, that is Southern. That's an interesting take.
Southern. I
little
mean,
bit.
I guess pecans.
All
Oh,
right.
you're right. You know what? Pecans. Do they grow in Georgia?
Wrong person to ask, bud. All right.
So like, I think squash is Michael Jordan, and garlic bread is LeBron James.
Oh, you have garlic bread pretty high still. Then.
No, he's like.
Sports.
Actually, he can be mashed potatoes.
Okay, so it's bland, but still.
I'll say LeBron is
Everybody's
mashed
favorite.
potatoes,
Wouldn't you switch the two?
and Michael
'Cause
Jordan is
Michael
mac
Jordan-
and cheese.
Oh wow, you have mac and cheese high.
I'm gonna put mac and cheese the
But
greatest of
see,
all time.
The argument against mac and cheese though is what you said about the mashed potatoes. It's the same thing. You have it year round.
That's true. That's very true. There are certain things that I think it's kind of funny on Thanksgiving is that everyone's like, oh, I absolutely love, like I love squash. I wait the whole year to have squash. I could very, very easily go to the store, cut up a squash, boil it, mash it,
Yeah.
put all that stuff in, and like it would take me 10 minutes, and I would be able to enjoy it not just one day a year, but it's Thanksgiving. I gotta wait for the squash. We had.
Oh my god.
I was at my family's house, right? And my brother was in the refrigerator pulling turkey out, and my father's like, "I need that for sandwiches." And he's like, "It's like
Just go to
there's
Walmart."
A, there's a ton of turkey, and B, you could go to Walmart and buy turkey." He's like, I need that for sandwiches." And so he responded by saying, "You could have turkey all year round and cook it and make your own sandwiches. But do you do that? No, you wait till this time of year and then you have those sandwiches. You could have it all year round." Thanksgiving is the only time where we eat food that we could eat all year round, but we don't. I eat turkey every day for lunch, by the way, so that's irrelevant, but
So someone like you that loves turkey
cold
like that,
turkey.
would you rather have a cold turkey sandwich
Love cold turkey sandwiches.
or
I eat
not
tur-
on Thanksgiving, but like cooked turkey like as a meal? Not on Thanksgiving. So just
not on Thanksgiving. Like in, July.
These are the real
midsummer
pickup
months.
Yes. Exactly.
Midsummer.
4th of July.
Yeah, I'm having turkey dinner for 4th of July. That's a little hefty for the warm weather.
Yeah, everybody's
You get
having
the
grilling
mashed
burgers
potatoes,
and stuff, and you're
everyone's
just eating a
grilling
turkey dinner.
Can you grill a turkey?
There's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. All right, let's get to our football show.
This is
because
a football show?
This is a football podcast, by the way. So we'll start with Monday Night Football and some other key things from, I guess we don't really talk that much about last week, but I do want to spend some time on the Monday Night Football game. So Monday Night Football, it was legendary. 105 points scored between both teams.
What would have made it better, though?
We chose the over of 80, so thank you very much. If you bet over, and it was because of us.
100, and we would have.
Yeah, we probably would have won that. I should have bet over the 100.
Yeah,
would have been a millionaire right now.
Quickly, what would have made that game better? Not ESPN broadcasting it.
Oh, 100%. That's just our weekly note that Monday Night Football blows.
But anyone who bet the under in that game, you guys need to
take a
look
leap.
at the mirror.
Figure
go take
yourself
a walk
out.
outside, listen to sad
You lost
music.
as much as Vegas did, so
yeah.
Take a walk and figure yourself out. A note on the Monday Night Football crew. I hope they all get fired, and the Thursday football crew. So the Thanksgiving Thursday football game was broadcasted by NBC because NBC. They have to broadcast a Sunday Night Football game. Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels were not available for that game because they were obviously probably eating turkey with their families and preparing for the Sunday Night Football game between the Packers and the Vikings.
So I didn't watch the Thursday night game. So who was it?
That Thursday night game, it moved to the halftime show crew. So it was, what's the guy's name?
The guy who used to do Monday Night Football.
The guy I think who used to do Monday Night Football. No, he's the host. But they had Rodney Harrison and Tony Dungy in the booth. And I gotta say, it was fan-freaking-tastic.
Who was the play-by-play? Was it the host?
Mike.
Yeah, the guy who used to do ESPN.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure.
Now,
it was spectacular.
Or you liked it.
I loved it. I was like, no, but just having the commentary from Tony Dungy, I was gonna say Tony Dungy, and ESPN needs to. They obviously work for NBC, but they need to offer big deals to these people and get them there because I would rather all day long have those three guys, announce the game. The booger frickin' McFarland,
which we found out Monday night that is not his real name.
His real name is Anthony. I believe that's his name.
Yeah.
Booger McFarland is not his real name.
Which kind of makes it even worse.
It makes it lame. It means that he chose that as a nickname.
Well, we don't know what his middle school was like, dude.
Yeah, he was getting hazed, and he said, "Oh, we're gonna call you Booger," and then he's like, I'm gonna take that with me on the rest of my life.
You call me Booger now as an insult, but 20 years from now, you'll regret it.
Yeah, his name, I guess, really isn't Booger McFarland. It's Anthony Darrell McFarland. We can call him Tony McFarland. That's what I'm gonna call him now, Tony McFarland. That is not a name that fits him very well. Booger does, though. I'll stick with Booger.
That was the best part of the Monday Night Football cruise. You at least had a guy named Booger.
Yeah, no, and he blows, too. So, anyway, Monday Night Football was legendary. The Rams pulled out a slight victory over the Chiefs. Are the Rams poised? We're going to talk a little bit about maybe this game, too, in the next point, but are the Rams poised to make a playoff run?
What do you mean by playoff run?
Like a chip game?
I'd say
NFC Championship or Super Bowl? Are they poised to do that yet? No?
Because I don't think they're going to go into New Orleans and win.
What if they don't have to?
Now it's a coin flip because I think LA
doesn't
right now
have
a home field advantage.
Drew Brees is going to win the NFC. Who's the team underneath that? Los Angeles Rams. So they're not going to have to play each other in the second round, which means
they would play each other in the NFC Championship.
They would play each other in the NFC Championship.
So is that
so can they? Let me look at the standings and ask you that question because can they beat one of the underling teams?
If the Rams have to go to New Orleans to play the Saints, I would not pick them in that game.
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't pick them either. The Saints are on a mission right now.
So is getting to the NFC Championship considered a run?
I would say yes. Only because
not if you already have a bye.
You're one of the top 4 teams in the league, so that would basically some teams like the Chiefs have done this a couple of times, not with Patrick Mahomes, but we'll talk about that in a second. But the Chiefs have been put in that situation where they're one of the best teams in the league. They're 12-4, 13-3, and then the first round of the playoffs they just lose. whether they get the bye week or not. First round of the playoffs, they just lose. We've seen that for so many teams, which means you're not a top 4 team. So if LA goes out in that first round and says, all right, we're going to try to win this game, and then they lose in the divisional round, then that, they're obvious that A is not a playoff run, and B, they're not one of the top 4 teams in the league. But if they can win that,
who would they probably play in the first round?
Taking
my guess, let's theoretically say the 3 and 4 seeds win, so all the division winners. One in the wild card weekend. My guess would be the Cowboys or the NFC East team would be the 4 seed, which means they'd play the Saints in this theoretical world.
As of right now,
so they'd probably have to play what? The Packers, the Bears, the Vikings.
The seeding would go Saints, Rams, Bears, Cowboys, Panthers, Vikings. Assuming that the Cowboys and the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, baby. 6-5 in my projections. If the Bears face, because the Bears are going to face the higher seed, whoever wins either of those games. So if you're assuming that the Bears and the Cowboys win 3rd and 4th seeds, can the Bears beat the Rams? That's like what is. I'm going to actually give you an answer to that in a second. Go ahead.
I would say they actually would have a legitimate shot in that game, just for the simple fact of their defense. The Bears to knock off the Rams just for their defense. However, I would pick the Rams in that game. I don't think Trubisky would be ready for prime time.
Rams would be at home, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
So I'm going to say the Bears because what matters in the postseason?
Coach, quarterback, defense?
I think defense is higher than quarterback. And at the Super Bowl, as much defense wasn't played in that game, but who won the Super Bowl this year? And they had a relevant defense last year, Philadelphia Eagles, and they didn't have a great quarterback. So I think, and Doug Peterson, I don't think is all that great of a coach. Defense, I think the term
Bears
defense
are going to be a scary team.
Well, it depends on Mitchell Trubisky is just so friggin' flaky.
Here's the thing, though, with that matchup. I get why you would pick the Bears, and I would be
simply
tempted
because of defense.
However, the Rams' defense, when they are fully healthy, can be really good too.
Right.
And Bears might be better, but the Rams' offense and coaching staff might be significantly better than the Bears' offense and coaching staff. That would put them over the edge. But it would be an interesting game. I would love to see that matchup.
It would definitely be an interesting game. It just depends on because I think the thing with Jared Goff is he's not elite at this point. He's very good and he's played fantastic. He's played fantastic this year, but he is still a young quarterback. And so when Khalil Mack, the giant fat sack happy quarterback, defensive lineman it gets at him multiple times. How is he going to respond to that? Because ultimately, I think, Gurley can, as much as I think the offense revolves around him, I think he can only do so much. Like, he can't win a team a football game and run for 3 foot. Yeah, no running back can. So, I do believe that the better defense prevails here. But, if you want to call the Rams and the Bears defenses a wash, then I think the Rams can pull out the win there.
Then I think the Rams would borderline kill them.
If that's the case, then I do believe that they can make a playoff run. But the Vikings were so close to getting to actually they weren't close. They got blown out by the
They
Eagles.
were in the Final Four.
They were in the Final Four. But I don't know. I'm kind of
would you give the Panthers any chance?
The Panthers? No.
Would you give the Cowboys your Cowboys any chance?
It depends on if their offense turns it around.
I'll answer that for you.
It showed. He's like, no. It showed in the last couple of weeks that it's kind of taking a turn. But if it doesn't show consistent improvement over the next 5 weeks, then it is irrelevant in terms of what the Cowboys can do, because that will probably end in a loss. But it's been a long time. Not a long time, but it's been a while since
the Giants are gonna come back. See that?
Sneak in and take the Vikings seat.
1-7. They're now 3-7. Get ready.
Funny. Yeah, no, I don't know if the Rams have any real shot of going to the Super Bowl, especially when you're facing Drew Brees.
I think they have a real shot.
But if that game is close, that's a real playoff run to me, and I think the Rams could actually pull it out. But I just want to see, they could absolutely collapse in the playoffs and just lose to the Bears by 30. Same with the Chiefs. Those team the Saints have done it before. Drew Brees can come out and he's gonna show up. He's gonna perform. That team is gonna perform. But you just don't know. You don't even know with the Bears. There's so many question marks.
Yeah.
The Vikings have more playoff experience than the Bears right now, which means that the 5-4-1 Vikings could actually knock off the Bears. That's a legitimate possibility. I don't think they have a quarterback, but they could knock off the Bears. Their defense is similar, not the same, but I mean, there is so much inexperience. Cam Newton blows in the postseason.
Panthers are an experienced
Cowboys.
playoff team, though.
We saw them in the playoffs once with Dak Prescott, and we don't really know what we're getting from that. But they do have a little bit of experience. Like, if I'm looking at this should be easy for the Saints. Easy.
Ooh, I wouldn't consider it easy, but also, what if the Packers can sneak in and they win out, or maybe not win
Packers.
out?
I don't know. I'd like to see that, but they still don't have a defense, so that's irrelevant.
No, I mean I'd pick the Saints too, but again,
the Saints are going to walk.
The Saints were
it.
my preseason pick, so
I think the Saints could walk there. Honestly, unless the Rams come out and they play like they do in the regular season, then it all bets off. It's going to be one heck of an NFC Championship game. I'll tell you that much.
True.
So yeah, I would say that it would be. I think they might be poised to make a playoff run. How many games do you have to win in the regular season to be in position to pull off that many wins? Because like right now, when you look at the AFC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's coming out? It's either going to be the Chiefs or the Patriots. That's pretty much.
Or the Chargers.
There's the Chargers and the Steelers, but I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like those teams are going to do what they always do in the playoffs.
Yeah,
fall
probably.
flat on their face.
Especially if one of them end up playing each other in the divisional round.
Especially, yep, exactly.
And then whoever comes up on top is going to be tired and then get killed.
Yep. So it'll be one of those. I mean, but if Pat Mahomes and that whole situation doesn't work out, the Patriots could walk there. So I'm just looking at NFC side of it, and I don't really want to say that it's like done. It's a done deal for the Saints. I'm kind of curious to see how the Rams play. But if the Rams play like an inexperienced young football team in the playoffs,
the Rams play like the regular season Rams.
It's gonna be darn good NFC Championship game, and they might actually go to the Super Bowl. Yep. I'll be very interested in seeing that. That would be one heck of a game. I'm kind of interested in seeing all these postseason matchups if they end up happening. So let's move on to the next point. Patrick Mahomes is in his two biggest games of the season against the Patriots and the Rams. He has failed to drive his team down the field and win the game. No, this is not Morgan having an epiphany take. This is just stating the facts. Instead, throwing interceptions in the last drives of those games. Do you think these late game mistakes are going to hurt Pat Mahomes in the playoffs? I was going to say hurt the Chiefs, but I feel like
I'm very curious.
Pat Mahomes is the Chiefs.
To hear what you have to say about this.
You know what I have to say about this.
No,
I'm going to let you go first.
I don't know what you have to say about this.
What? Because my take about Patrick Mahomes has changed all season?
Yes, because it's evolved into something I don't know what.
You can't figure it out?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you my take. I think it's going to hurt the Chiefs, yeah. And here's why. Because in the two biggest, these are the games. Like, a lot of people are going to look at the Denver game, and you might pull that up, and you might say, oh, he came back down 10 points against Denver. Denver blows. Don't even bring Denver up. But I just want to say,
in Denver, beginning of the year, they were 3-0.
In both of those games, Patrick Mahomes performed extremely well. My only point is in the last couple drives, where he is supposed to bring his team back. He's supposed to be the guy that walks down the field, and he's supposed to be the person that scores a touchdown, like Tom Brady has, like, Peyton Manning has done it in regular season. What I'm saying is that in these two big games, he showed up, but he didn't finish. And that's the concern, is that when you face a New England Patriots, when you face a Los Angeles Rams, if you face the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl and you score another 100 points altogether, right? Is Pat Mahomes going to win that game? No. I mean, the Rams have already showed it. It's all
I
about,
don't know, dude.
To me, it's all about those last late minutes.
I disagree.
Pat Mahomes works in the first 3 or 4 quarters in the game, and I'll tell you why. It's because he's like a Brett Favre. He's like a gunslinger. He's a guy that goes out, he runs around in the pocket, and then he throws it 40 yards down the field and completes the pass, and everyone's like, oh, did you see that? And it's like, it's incredible. But then he does it late in games. And when you do it late in games, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. And it might work out like it did against the Denver Broncos, but more often than not, stuff like that is not going to work out, especially in the playoffs when you're facing better defenses. You saw that against the Rams, and smarter coaches, Bill Belichick. So it doesn't matter when he makes the playoffs. My thing is that Andy Reid is already a bad caveat for the Chiefs in the playoffs. He's already a bad, that's an omen for you.
Okay.
Now Pat Mahomes is throwing picks at the end of games that are important. If he does that in the playoffs, the Chiefs are going to be toast.
Both those interceptions that he threw, though, weren't
at the end of the Rams game.
Yeah, those were kind of like.
No, I'll give you that.
Like he got hit in the arm, and
they were in the game. In the first interception, they were in that game. They were very much in the game before the pick was thrown. Then the Rams kind of freaking gave him the ball back, and I don't know. He had 2 opportunities.
The second opportunity, though, was what, like 30 seconds
But
left
in
or something like
in
that.
that situation, if you're smart, what are you doing? You have to protect the ball. You have to make sure that you're not running out of the pocket.
Not
and
really the
launching
second
it.
one. The second one, you're just
Yes, the
last
second
one they
one,
had?
I'll give you that one. But that first one is
and
where
wasn't
I
the
was
first one the
questioning.
one where you got hit in the arm? So
I don't think that the hit on the arm had anything to do with the throw, though. When you watch the play,
oh yes, it
he
did.
threw
yeah,
it.
it did.
He threw it before he got
Now,
hit on the arm.
what you can say against that is that maybe the guy was covered anyway, so he probably wouldn't have caught it.
Yeah,
There's a chance it might have been picked.
But
the throw itself was affected by the
when they showed the back angle, there was 2 corners and a safety in that
Yeah, that's
zone.
what I'm saying.
And it was, why were you throwing it there?
But
I
the
mean,
throw was definitely affected, though.
I think if he threw it in that zone, no matter what, it probably would have been picked, considering that the guy made a nice play. But I just think against New England and Los Angeles, Pat Mahomes is making. He's not.
Also,
He's a great quarterback. I'll give him that. He's been fantastic this year. I'm just saying that in the most important games of the year against the teams that you'll probably have to beat to win it all. Because let's face it, we just talked about the Rams facing the Saints. If the Rams are good like they are in the regular season, it's likely that they could probably make the Super Bowl. And so, what are the final 2 teams that you have to play to win the Super Bowl if you're Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs?
might be the Steelers, might be the Pats, might be the Chargers.
I'm
might
just
be the
saying.
Rams, might be the Saints.
So don't play that card with me. It's going to be the New England Patriots, and it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams.
After you just said
even
that the Saints were
if right,
the favorites to win.
if the Saints are even the favorites to win, they have a good defense this year. They go to the Super Bowl. What do you expect? To me, he's going to have a tough road. It's obviously going to the Super Bowl. You're going to have a tough road regardless.
I think here's how I'll look at it.
Against 2 teams that you have to play. And sorry, I'll let you go in a second. But in 2 teams that you might have to play in the postseason to win a Super Bowl, to win it all, and you're throwing picks against them. Chiefs fans are expecting this guy to come out and he's the godsend.
He threw 6 touchdowns, dude.
He's awesome. He's the godsend. He's the guy that's supposed to come down and ascend on the Chiefs and get them over the Andy Reid hump, right? He's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
What if he's not?
I don't think
Everyone,
Well,
you're an analyst.
of course, we'll find
I'm an
out.
analyst. We're gonna sit there and go, well, Pat Mahomes is a rookie quarterback, and we're not expecting him to go to the Super Bowl because I'm not.
And you said that
Chiefs
too.
fans are. That fan base is like,
True, but
Pat
however,
Mahomes, he's God. Gotta win a Super Bowl.
if he fails, they'll be saying the same thing though. They'll be like, "Oh, look how good he looked this year."
Oh yeah,
It's just the first year, so
yeah. I mean, no, they're soft, but I'm just saying. The question
One way to
is,
put it.
do you think these late game mistakes are going to affect him in the playoffs this year?
no.
So you think he has a chance to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Wow.
My thing is the Super Bowl is completely different though. Super Bowl is a different animal. He might choke in the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna like it. It's a whole different ball.
More than likely.
However, do you think the Steelers are gonna get home field
No.
after the Patriots lost to the Titans? You think they're gonna get?
There's
home
a
field?
massive game in week 16.
Why they play
Maybe
the Steelers?
15 where they play the Steelers. So we'll see what happens there. There's a question later in the
Do you
show that
think
we're going
the
to ask.
Chargers
Maybe
are gonna
that
get
bring
home
that up.
field.
No. Nope.
Who's gonna get home field in the AFC?
Kansas City Chiefs, but that doesn't matter to me.
Who's gonna go into Kansas City and win?
The New England Patriots.
I don't think they will.
I do. I really do think they will.
I don't see New England with this team going in. Maybe I'll think differently when Gronk is fully.
They've had so many games
fully
at
back.
home. It's
Dude, after watching this Patriots team, you think they're gonna go into Kansas City, the hardest place to play in football, and win against a team who might be already better than them?
yeah, I do. You're buying into the Chiefs.
Oh
boy. So I actually do think here's the thing, and I think the relevancy of that argument is that if the Patriots go into the AFC Championship game and they have to play on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs, assuming the game is not close and the Patriots are getting blown out, of course Tom Brady can't come back, and of course that's not going to happen. But it's the AFC Championship game, and it's Tom Brady. It's always going to be close. So going into that game, if it's close and the Patriots have the lead with 2 minutes left in the game, and Pat Mahomes has to make a play down the field, and Kyle Van Noy is running toward the quarterback, trying to sack him, but he's too freaking slow to get him. And Pat Mahomes throws it 45 yards down the field to try to complete a pass to Travis Kelce on first down. He doesn't really need to make that play, but he does it anyway. And all of a sudden, one of our safeties is jumping in front of the ball and intercepting it. Like, that is something, to me, that can very, very, very much likely
that could
happen.
happen. Yeah. Of course.
I'm saying if it's close, New England's going to win that game. Bill Belichick is a smarter head coach than Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is the GOAT. So, it doesn't matter if he sucks in the regular season. It doesn't matter if he sucks in the previous postseason game. When Tom Brady needs to play, he could throw 5 picks in that game and still get a freaking
fourth quarter drive.
Crap. Like, am I watching this drive at the end of the game? You have Tom Brady. And then the other side has all this inexperience. So to me, yes, if it's close, then they're in that game. I honestly,
other than Mahomes, that whole offense has been there year
and they've lost.
year. They've lost, but that doesn't mean it's not considered experience.
I just think Andy Reid hump is too much
Also,
to get over. By the way, I
see,
can't.
like, you're taking into the. You're like, oh, he threw 2 interceptions late in the game, so that means he'll do
I'm not
the
talking
same in
about
the
just
playoffs.
like 2. I'm not saying like, oh, Pat Mahomes threw 2 picks
Also,
against
I
the
don't like
Rams.
how
He
you-
blows. I'm saying against the Pats and against the Rams, he couldn't fulfill the Pat Mahomes destiny. So he didn't go Showtime Mahomes. Yeah, sure, he did it against Denver, but who is Denver? And they can take a leap.
Hindsight is 2020. At
Right.
the time, of
At the
game,
time, we were like, "Oh,
it
this
was
is great."
It was in Denver.
Yeah,
and
it
they
was
were
fantastic,
3-0.
awesome. But it doesn't. At this point, it's irrelevant. Like looking how the Denver Broncos have played this year, they're
So
not that
we
good,
can look
even
at the
defensively.
postseason, and Jared Goff and Todd Gurley both tear their ACL, and it's like, and
Oh, yeah.
the Rams finished 9-7. You're like,
Definitely.
he did it to a 9-7
I don't understand your
team.
point. So you're saying
Hindsight is 2020. At the time,
Pat Mahomes
the
is
Denver Broncos were considered, not by me and not by you because we knew better, but a lot of people were like, this is the best team in the AFC West.
Yep.
They're going to be a legit Super Bowl threat. And he went in there and had that fourth quarter drive you were talking about.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job.
So
but
he didn't do it against
Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos, whose defense hasn't really been that great this year. I mean, hindsight is 2020, but now we're
again,
sitting here
at the time.
now we're sitting here looking at this point in the season. Pat Mahomes has faced 2 playoff teams, and both playoff teams he's
shredded, but
there's other playoff teams that he's played, but real playoff teams like the Patriots and the Rams. He did fantastic. I mean, the Rams weren't really playing defense. And the Patriots had Pat Mahomes kind of figured out until the end of the third quarter. And then Pat Mahomes showed up and played well. But to me, okay, so I'm going to take out do you think, because obviously you don't think that. But does it concern you at all that Pat Mahomes did not pull off a drive to win the game in both of those situations?
It really doesn't, dude. Maybe like a very small, very, very small. But it
False.
really doesn't.
I think it does.
If he
It's
did-
very concerning to me. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I'd be shaking.
Maybe if the whole game he stunk and he did it again.
The Chiefs have always been chokers, and
But-
if Pat Mahomes is starting to show that choker mentality, then because I don't care if you
Okay,
I don't
that's
care
a little much.
I don't care if you roll up into an AFC Championship game and throw 5 touchdowns. If Tom Brady or Ben
At this point in the
Roethlisberger
year, though,
match that, right? If they match that, and they throw 5 touchdowns, or their offense scores 5 touchdowns and it's tied, or you're up by 2 or 3 at the end of the game, and he has to come down the field and he has to get a drive to win the game, he cannot be going down the field and gunslinging it. That is a situation where that's the separation. Tom Brady, he knows how to protect the football, where he's like, okay, there is no
Check down.
Right.
Check down.
With James White. but you know what I mean? Like he steps back in the pocket and there's no check down. Say he was trying to, do something like it's first down and he was trying to do something that was, really great on first down. Like, you have a bunch of downs, you're going to try to throw it deep, whatever. If Brady does not see that situation developing right, he will throw it out because he knows, hey, listen, this is not going to be a play that works. For Patrick Mahomes, he is a guy that all season, this is what he's done. Against almost every defense in situations where he has to make a play, he pulls it off. But at some point, when you have these more experienced, better defenses like the Los Angeles Rams, Bill Belichick's a great mind. I don't really like the Pats' defense, but when it comes down to it, he gets them to perform. And then you talk about like the Saints' defense, which has been really good this year. Pittsburgh's defense is very much improved. The Chargers just got Joey Bosa back. You're talking about all of these defenses that are starting to come into their own late in the season. And now Pat Mahomes has to face all these teams to try to make a playoff run and put together these situations. So yes, it does concern me. In the future, I think him getting to the playoffs this year, him learning from his mistakes and doing all this, I think it's going to be good for him. But looking at this year, if I'm a Chiefs fan, if I'm a Chiefs analyst, if I'm looking at the Chiefs, yes, Patrick Mahomes against the 2 of the best teams in the league throwing a pick at the end of the game, that should be a little concerning
What
to
do you
you.
take more out of it, though?
Say it
That
again?
pick at the end of the game or the 6 touchdowns that he had?
I'll use this analogy. maybe it's not an analogy, but do you remember that game way back in the day when Tom Brady threw 6 touchdowns in the first half?
Against the Titans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just assume you throw 6 touchdowns in the first half. Brady didn't really play in the second half and didn't really care to play. Didn't try to break the record. But regardless, Tom Brady did that in that game. Had the Tennessee Titans had something decent going, and they, like, you look at this one, he threw 6 touchdowns against the Los Angeles Lambs. The Los Angeles Rams.
If they lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, honestly. But look at the Los Angeles Rams, and they gave up all those points, right? In the end, who won the football game? It was the team that scored more points and the team that made defensive plays at the end of the game. And I think when you look at Patrick Mahomes, he threw 6 touchdowns in that game, and yet it wasn't enough. And what matters in games the most is that if you're close in a game, the only thing that matters is the 2 minutes. Everyone is remembering. Patriots fans, Eagles fans, all of those people, ready? All of those people are remembering the Super Bowl, right?
The Super Bowl, yeah.
They're in the Super Bowl, and I'm just saying that these 2 games could be a sign of what the season looks like. But when you go into the Super Bowl, right, Tom Brady had one of the best games in his postseason career, one of the best games of his life in the Super Bowl. 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a spectacular game. But what do people remember? Tom Brady dropping back in the pocket and getting strip sacked at the end of that Super Bowl. That's what people remember of Tom Brady in that particular game. It wasn't the 500 yards. It wasn't the 3 touchdowns. So when you're talking to me about this, if Pat Mahomes goes to the AFC Championship, what are the Chiefs fans going to remember? They're not going to be, these people are analysts and pundits. They're not going to sit here and remember that Pat Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns in the AFC Championship game. They're going to say it wasn't enough. What do the Chiefs got to do to get better? It wasn't enough. And if he throws a pick at the end of that game, they got to get this kid under control because he's slinging it too much. They got to get him under control. At this point in the year,
we're really just waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, definitely. I want to see it. I would say that it's concerning. You say it's not, so obviously that's a disagreement, but we got to move on to the next point. The Colts are on a 4. This is interesting. I love Andrew Luck. Like, I hated the Colts back in the day. I freaking love Andrew Luck. The Colts are on a 4-game winning streak, and Andrew Luck is looking like he's back to his old ways. Is that true, or is this just a benefit of an easy schedule?
I would say it's not a benefit. They're winning games, I think, because of the easy schedule. But Andrew Luck being back to form.
He was back to form 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. If you've been paying attention, he's had a great year.
Yeah.
And even, the game when they came into New England, statistically they lost, and he wasn't the best quarterback in the world, statistically speaking. But if you watch the game, they had an insane amount of drops. T.Y. Hilton wasn't playing in that game.
Yep.
And he still threw, 3 touchdowns?
Mm-hmm.
He's been back, guys. Open your eyes. If the Colts make the playoffs, he's an MVP candidate.
Yep, that's true. I think a lot of people...
If he makes the playoffs, actually, I might pick him to win MVP.
The game against the Jets, Week 6, he probably shouldn't have lost. But, Houston has been awesome this year.
Houston's been... I wouldn't say awesome, but...
They've got a good record, so I'll just give them that. But Houston's been good this year. New England has been good this year. Philly was, at the time, decent. And then Cincinnati came out hot in that first game. So you're talking about Indy losing early in the season to 4 winning record teams. And then they come out in the second half. And yes, they had an easy game against Buffalo and Oakland, but a 29-26 victory against that Jacksonville defense, and then another good 38-10 victory against Tennessee, who also has had a pretty good defense this year. Those are performances that you need. They haven't shown me much yet, but they have to play Miami. They got to play Jacksonville again, and then they got to play Houston again week 12, 13, and 14. So I think we'll see more what Andrew Luck... we know Andrew Luck's going to perform. We'll see more of what the Colts can do later in the season. And they got their pieces back. Early in the season when they were losing those games, they didn't have their number 1 tight end in Jack Doyle. They didn't have Marlon Mack, who was supposed to be their big running back. And they had to roll with guys like they literally had no running game, Rick. No running game. Naheem Hines was the running game, and he was averaging 1 yard a carry. So that
on
blows.
5 carries.
Yeah, on 5 carries. Yeah, because they were down the whole game. But so when I look at Andrew Luck, I think he is the reason why the Colts are winning, obviously. Unfortunately for him, it's the same situation. I hate seeing these quarterbacks in the NFL, like Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck. So talented, so much potential, so much, they could win so much if they just had a defense. The Patriots, all I think it was 2 or 3 times they played against the Patriots in the AFC. I mean, in the playoffs. And all 3 times, the Patriots ran the football the whole entire game on the Colts. And they scored 3 touchdowns because of it. All Brady had to do was score 1 touchdown. And Andrew Luck couldn't keep pace with it. Just because of the fact that their defense blew so bad. And it's like everyone was looking at those games going, Andrew Luck didn't show up. Andrew Luck didn't show up. Well, no, he showed up.
Yeah,
his defense blew.
The rest of his team doesn't. Does he have, I don't even know who their head coach is.
It's the guy that got canned for, or not canned, but it was their second guy who was supposed to get the job, and then Josh McDaniels was going to get it.
Yeah.
Do you think he's kicking himself for not taking the job?
McDaniels?
Mm-hmm. I think he's a better coach.
It depends what Belichick told him to bring him back.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I would say it.
If he takes over the Patriots and Tom Brady is still the quarterback, then...
Personally, I would have taken that job, the Colts job. You got Andrew Luck.
Oh, yeah. You have your team figured out. You already... if he has to take over the New England Patriots, just as a quick side note, if he has to take over the New England Patriots, he doesn't have a quarterback. He's got to figure that out. Maybe he didn't like Andrew Luck. Maybe he talked to Andrew Luck on the phone or figured some things out. And but a lot of people thought the shoulder injury was something. Obviously, we know that's not a real thing anymore. But their head coach is Frank Reich. He used to be the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles the year they won the Super Bowl.
So last year he was there.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's not bad then.
No, he's not a bad coach. He's not as good as what McDaniels would have been as an option.
Yeah.
Because I look at that. I mean, the only reason why the Eagles' offense was that good was because of Carson Wentz. It wasn't because of that guy. Where you've seen, with the Atlanta Falcons,
they had some
not
good plays,
having...
though.
Who was the Atlanta Falcons head coach? I mean,
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. When you had Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, and they were one of the best offenses in football that year, and now they don't have Kyle Shanahan, and you can obviously see...
The last 2 years.
Yeah, the last 2 years that they just have not been there themselves. I mean, Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. You got Julio Jones. You got a decent running game with Tevin Coleman and
now
Devonta Freeman.
Calvin Ridley.
And it's you got Calvin Ridley too, and and Austin Hooper is a good, yeah. You got all of that talent. You can't win football games.
They have a really solid offense.
And everyone's the offense is playing fine. No, it's not. You watch the football games. I watched the entire football game on Thursday night, and they blew. So anyway, I think Luck. I don't think it's the benefit of an easy schedule. Definitely don't think that. I think Andrew Luck is definitely back to his old ways. I'm so tired of listening to idiots say that Andrew Luck is not an elite quarterback. Andrew Luck is above and beyond an elite quarterback in this.
Now, I know you love your boy Matt Ryan, but would you take Luck over
all
Matt
day.
Okay, thank you.
I would take Luck over Matt Ryan. I would take Luck over Carson Wentz. I would take Luck over who's not Pat Mahomes. Sorry, Andrew. I love you, but hey, listen. Guy's throwing 6 touchdowns a game. Well, it's freaking ridiculous, but no, I love Andrew Luck. I think if you're going to build, I mean, he's older. You're not that much older, but holy crap, he's 29 years old.
Andrew Luck?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow. Time flies.
But so far this season, though, you want to know what his quarterback rating is?
What?
101.8.
That's pretty solid.
That's very good. That actually may be wrong. Yeah, 101.8. That is fantastic.
Top 5 in the league?
That's top 5 in the league.
Would you say Andrew Luck's a top 5 quarterback?
Yeah. Top 6, 7. I'll draw that back a little bit.
I'm going to give you a guy, and you tell me if Andrew Luck is better.
Yep.
Russell Wilson.
Yes.
I like that one. Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes.
I like that one, too. Drew Brees?
No. Well, I mean, what are we factoring in?
Right.
Future or not future? Just this
season? Right now.
Right now? Yeah, Drew Brees.
It's close.
It's close.
Very
Drew
close.
Brees. Okay, here's a question. You put Drew Brees. I mean, you put Peyton Manning. Oh my gosh. You put Andrew Luck in that situation.
I love Andrew Luck. I think if you put Luck on the Saints, he's considered.
He might be
the second best quarterback.
Do you think he would be better than Drew Brees is right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that too. I do think right now, if you were choosing a quarterback, though, I'd just.
So then you essentially have him top 5 then.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe even top 3. Well,
not
no,
top 3.
Because Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes.
Not yet.
So then Rodgers, Brady, Luck.
You killing me? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
As much
all right,
as
we established it.
We established it.
I would say he's top 5. I'd probably put him 4th.
Yeah, I really do like Andrew Luck. I think he's an elite quarterback. Like, if he goes to the Super Bowl, like, honestly, if Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts went to the Super Bowl this year, I'm going to buy a Luck jersey. Go Colts.
Yeah.
I love Andrew Luck. And he's been really good this year. I don't think it's a benefit of a like, it has been an easy schedule for him, but I think the Colts are just figuring things out. I think Frank Reich is figuring things out, and it's been really good for them. Let's move on to the final point. It was Thanksgiving this week. We'll go through this really fast. And that means we not only got to eat a lot of turkey. I had 3 helpings, but we got to watch
weird flex, but okay.
Football. Lots of football. What are your takeaways from any of the games? Just pick one. Go for it.
I actually didn't watch too much football on Thanksgiving because I was getting lit with the fam. So
keep it in your pants, bro.
My biggest takeaway was that the lines blow.
Yep.
The Redskins are done without Alex Smith.
Yep.
And the Falcons also blow.
True.
So it wasn't about anyone being good other than the Saints.
Do you want to know? Blow. I heard this as a interesting little fact about the Thursday night game, and it was the fact that Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram, 3 of their best, if not, they literally score. They score the touchdowns for that team. None of them scored a touchdown.
And they still,
I think Traquan Smith had a touchdown.
They still won by how many?
Yeah, I know.
Scored how many points?
It's scary how good that offense is. And like,
Saints are legit.
You know how many yards Drew Brees threw in that game?
I just need. Oh, I don't know.
I looked at it and I was
under
like,
300. Over under 350.
Under.
Over under 325.
Under.
Oh, over under 300.
Under.
Really? Over under 270.
Under.
No way. Are you serious?
Keep going.
Over under 250?
Yeah, it's under.
Oh my. What?
Go over under 170.
No.
171.
Are you serious?
171
he threw 171 yards and they scored how many
touchdowns? Rick, if he scored 300 yards, I would have had like 35 fantasy points from him, but I didn't get that. So
yes, Drew Brees is now on your fantasy.
Yeah, no, 171 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's absolutely asinine. I was like, this guy he doesn't even have to do anything. There's a lot of turnovers in that game.
Do they have a lot of rushing yards then?
No. Well, I'll look it up, but I don't think there was a ton.
So they just get the ball like within the 30-yard line?
Yeah, Kamara I think had 100 yards rushing, and I think it was like 40 from Mark Ingram, something like that. So they did a pretty good job rushing the football. There was a lot of turnovers that caused people to get set up in position. I mean, from the get-go, the Falcons were just off in that game. That was a game you had to win. If you're the Atlanta Falcons, you have to win it, and they couldn't pull it off. As far as like the Cowboys, fantastic outing for them offensively. Again, I don't want to say this too early, but Zeke is not just because he's on my fantasy team, but he has turned it on the last 3 weeks. Last time Ezekiel Elliott played, I think Amari Cooper,
their whole offense
is making a difference on that team big time. Not just because he got 2 touchdowns in that game and like 130 yards, not just because of that, but because I think Cooper is starting to pull people away, and people are starting to realize, crap, we got to cover this guy.
We're really going to see it this week against the Saints, though.
Yeah, that's true. What I found
next week,
I found really interesting, though, is the fact that in the last 3 weeks, Zeke has been, I think that was since the trade, Zeke has been that spectacular. He's been running the ball like he usually does. He's a lot of people were like starting to question if he was up there with Gurley and with Saquon and what was the other one?
Melvin Gordon, maybe?
Melvin Gordon. But people were like looking at Zeke going, oh, is Zeke really one of the best running backs in the league? He played against Washington, Rick, last time. You know how many yards he had? He had like 20 carries and 40 yards against Washington.
He had 33 yards, yeah. Wow.
It's terrible. It's absolutely awful. And then in this game, he just ripped it up.
121 yards.
Yeah, so he was eaten. And I love that Zeke is turning it on, but that was another, like, I was like, literally the first drive of the game, Rick, they gave it to him like 3 times. He had like 30 yards and a touchdown on the first drive. I was like, literally when you see that, and like it's like when you watch Todd Gurley and he scores on the first drive and he gets like 45 rushing yards, you're like, oh frick, it's one of those days. I did not expect Zeke to do as well as he did against Washington, but he lit them up. And then I was so like, I was sitting there watching the first game, falling
that game was
asleep.
so boring.
I literally fell asleep during that game. I was like, whoa.
The Lions have kind of given up this year too.
How much garbage? Like, they probably thought, well, I mean, have they given up? They're 4-6, 4-7 probably. No,
they traded Golden Tate.
Yeah, but I think they had a lot of receivers. I think they just wanted to open it up for Galladay with that trade, which Golden Tate has blown in Philly, by the way. But I really am not going to judge that based on one.
Learning the offense.
Yeah, that's true. Cooper,
he's really there for the playoffs.
I really like Amari Cooper, by the way.
Yes.
So those are my takeaways. Did you have any other thoughts or?
I'd say the Bears just showed that if they were out, if Trubisky didn't play a single game this year, they'd still be like
pretty
contending.
Good. Yeah, I thought they were going to lose that game.
But I did too, actually.
The fact that Stafford couldn't get anything going and start
against the Bears, though.
It's against the Bears, but you're facing a terrible quarterback. Like, this is the week. Trubisky's not playing. The Bears are
home.
Yeah, you're home. Like, that's the one game that you can kind of look at it and go, maybe the offense is kind of thinking about turkey.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense is thinking about turkey, and, like, you know, they're not. Yeah, Khalil Mack's ready to eat. Oh my gosh, they had. Did you see at the end of the? Oh, you didn't watch that game, but at the end of the Falcons Saints game, they were giving the turkey to the players. Yeah, Mark Ingram, he didn't get one question. He was standing there and they gave him a turkey leg. He literally ate the whole turkey leg while they were doing interviews. I was like, oh my God, Mark. They were like, every time they looked at him, he had a whole mouthful of turkey. He was just chewing. I was like, and then there's the other guy, the defensive player, and right next to him, he was like taking little nibbles. And I'm like, dude, just freaking eat it. And then Drew Brees wanted to get like a big, it's the most ridiculous thing, but I look forward to it every year. Oh, crap.
Late for work.
Yeah. But let's move on to the Patriots minute. Do you think the Patriots are going to clinch the bye week?
No.
Why?
Because I think the Steelers are going to be right there with them. Now, I don't know if they're not going to clinch the bye. I think it's going to be one of the two. Steelers, Pats. It's going to all come down to that one game they play. I think week 16, week 15.
Yeah.
And is that game in New England or Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd actually
be wrong. Actually, I don't know.
I'm finding out right now. The game is in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to put my money on New England clinching the bye.
I'm going to say that the New England Patriots will beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they will clinch the bye week. I think that's what's going to happen. Ultimately, a lot of people have been like looking at the Patriots, and I got to say this really fast because we're almost out, but a lot of people have been looking at the New England Patriots thinking they're bad and thinking there's a lot of stuff going wrong with the team, but they're still 7-3. They just had a bye week, and they got an easy schedule the rest of the way, so I'm not really concerned about the New England Patriots and how many games they win. I think the Steelers will lose another game. It'll probably be the New England Patriots. They might even lose 2 more. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs could even lose 1 or 2 more. So, in the end, Patriots might actually sneak away with the 1 seed. But we'll see what happens. At this point, Tom Brady doesn't lose games. So,
yeah, please.
Yeah, don't lose any more games. So let's move on to lemons, buy or sell. The Bears. Oh, what are you going to say?
Should we just do this like one word? Like buy, sell, since we're...
No, I just got to explain it, bro.
A slight explanation.
A slight explanation, yeah. We're running out of time for the show anyway. The Bears are a legitimate playoff contender. Buy or sell?
Buy. That defense is lit. Trubisky may or may not be lit, but it doesn't matter because that defense is lit. I like the head coach.
I think we talked about it earlier. I think they could probably have a chance against the Bears. I mean, against the Rams. I think they have a legitimate playoff chance. Mitch Trubisky has shown himself to be decent this year. He still makes decisions where you're like, God, who is this kid?
Yeah. It's Mitch Trubisky from last year.
Is this Brian Hoyer or? So yeah, I think the Bears are a legitimate playoff contender. They might make it to the divisional round, maybe even the chip game. We'll see what happens. But I definitely consider them top 3. The Packers. Are the Packers gonna make the playoffs? You buy that or sell it?
I'm selling. I think the Vikings and I think the Bears are both better than them in that division.
Yeah.
I love Aaron Rodgers. I got my boy Aaron Jones on my fantasy team, but that defense is just not good enough. And that head coach, Mike McCarthy.
If they lose this week, have they given up?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy it.
Ooh.
I think the Packers are going to get a very large. They're still very much in it. I think they're going to get a very large victory against the Minnesota Vikings this week. And it's going to propel them to... I think they'll lose in the wild card round, but
yeah,
I think the Packers will sneak in and clinch. I think they're going to... I'll buy it. I'm buying it.
Whoever loses this week between them is definitely out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, the Vikings aren't out.
I think
but they're 5-4-1, and the Packers are 4-5-1. So, I mean...
I wouldn't bet on the Vikings.
They
would be essentially out.
Right. Number 3, Drew Brees is MVP of the league this year. Buy that or sell it.
This one is really hard for me because it's only week 10, week 11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's actually week 12.
Yes.
Oh, we're approaching it.
Yeah.
This one is so hard because I really want to say Mahomes and I really want to say Andrew Luck.
He'll have his opportunity.
But I think through 12 weeks, I'll probably buy.
So
I'll probably buy that.
I'm going to buy it. And the reason why is because I think Pat Mahomes has probably been playing better than Drew Brees this year. My big thing is that Drew Brees has spent his entire career being elite and playing extremely well and never won an MVP just because he happened to be playing with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and has Roethlisberger won one?
I don't think so. No.
But Peyton Manning and Tom Brady stole basically his prime away with their career. So
it's a career achievement award.
Yeah. So I do believe they're going to give it to him just because of
I agree with that.
His elderly status.
Again,
in
if
the
the Colts make the playoffs, though, I think it's going to go to Andrew Luck. I don't know if it's going to go to him, but he'll get a lot of votes.
He'll get a lot of votes. I do. I mean, if Drew Brees absolutely collapses in December and he's just not the same guy he was, like if he shows his age, you'll start to see that, which older quarterbacks do. But I'm going to buy the fact that Drew Brees is going to be MVP of the league. You ready for pick'em?
Yeah.
I'll cue the music. Bears at Lions.
I was like Thanksgiving game, so
nice voice crack there, boss.
Because I was thinking like Bears Lions. Oh my.
Never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, Forgive me. Forgive me. I was reading my sheet that I created.
That voice crack, by the way, was a mating call.
If a mating call. Ladies, he is single. All right, so we'll start on Sunday. Giants at Eagles.
Dude, the Eagles is probably the one to go with here, but I'm going with the Giants because I have them Giants winning out, bro.
I know, me too.
Winning out. All Giants day. Every week.
Giants go. Jaguars at Bills.
If you're gonna pick the Bills, this is still not the game to do it because you're an idiot. Don't pick the Bills. Go Jaguars.
Bills.
Go jump through a table.
The Jags are so bad. I'm taking the Bills. Seahawks at Panthers. Panthers. Raiders at Ravens.
Ravens.
49ers at Bucks.
Nick Mullins, baby.
Nick Mullins. I'll go 49ers too. Why not? 49ers. Browns at Bengals.
Ooh, I actually really want to say the Browns here. So I'm going to say it, the Browns.
I'm going to say the Bungles. The Bungles will get the dib.
Go Baker.
Go Baker Mayfield.
I'm going to get big so I watch Baker.
Patriots, Jets.
Next.
Pats. Cardinals, Chargers. Steelers, Broncos. That's in Denver.
This is actually a surprisingly tough game. I think it's going to come down to the wire.
I'm going to take the Broncos.
Ooh, wow.
Dolphins at Colts. Packers at Vikings. Game of the week. Well,
game of the week.
Yeah,
we both said the loser ain't making the playoffs. I think you already said that you.
I'm going to say the Packers.
I'm going to say the Vikings.
Titans and Texans on Monday Night Football.
What was it?
Titans and Texans.
That kind of stinks. I'm going to go Texans.
It does blow, but the Titans are in the playoffs.
It's like one of those weird. It's one of those weird games that kind of blow, but like their records would suggest it's like a great
the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Houston Texans as well. To close out the show, as always, we are going to give you our fantasy plays of the week. Be watching out because we do have something cooking for fantasy football in the near future.
Something's cooking.
A nice fantasy football show.
What's that?
How do I say?
Turkey dinner?
Turkey. Oh.
No, it's something else.
It's something else. You'll see it coming soon. Melvin Gordon, I got him against Arizona this week as my fantasy play of the week.
Now I have to pick.
He's a beast. I love Melvin Gordon. I did take him last week, though.
I have to pick guys on my own team, of course. Boy. And this has actually worked for me, believe it or not, a few times. Picking Patrick Mahomes or Saquon.
Shake and bake.
I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey this week. He is my boy. But if you want
Seattle.
If you want, hey, he's home against Seattle. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want a different prediction, I would suggest Joe Mixon against the Cleveland Browns.
That's not bad. I mean, their run-stopping D is middle of the pack, but Joe Mixon might have a good game. Do you have any closing thoughts for us?
I'm late for work.
Happy Thanksgiving, Rick.
Swag.
Thank you for listening to the Rick and Morgan podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, and check us out online at lemonsportsnetwork.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Rick Morgan Pod. I'll see you later.